All right, so let's call this meeting to order. Today's September 16th, Tuesday, September 16th. This is a meeting of the Westport School Building Committee. Pursuant to Governor Healy's approved legislation, House Bill 62, a bill extending authorizations of all local boards, commissions, and committees to hold public meetings remotely or in a hybrid format, extended timeline, amended Section 38, Chapter 20 of the Acts of 2021, most recently amended Section 40 of Chapter 2 of the Acts of 23, and replacing the current expiration date of March 31st, 2025 with June 30th, 2027. Therefore, this meeting being conducted via remote participation in order to ensure public access to the deliberations. And if we would all join me in Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you all. And basically, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to the man who's been doing all the legwork behind the scenes, Jim Hartnett.
So, budget update, we talked about the budget our last meeting, we're still about, I have the numbers up there, I think $2.4 million that is unspent. Some of that is currently under the existing contract with Agostini, so that's incumbent there, but there's a contingency of $600 and almost $90,000 that hasn't been spent yet. So that's where we are. We're still under budget as far as what was approved at town meeting, what was authorized for borrowing. Yeah. We're moving. We're going to need some of that for some of the changes that we're making, but we're still getting prices on that right now, which gets us to the roof and the gutters. So there's a couple of things that they're getting prices on right now. Gale Associates has done the design. He's ready. He can either put it out to bid. At this point, we've given it back to Agostini. Agostini's been a little bit more cooperative, or a lot more cooperative the last month or two. They seem more willing to get things done. They've been here a few times. We've met with them a couple of times on site. We've gone over some of the change orders, which we can get to in a minute. But they're currently getting prices for the work on the roofs and the downspouts and some of the blocking that's under the windows. So mainly what they're looking to do is on the roof, they're looking to redirect the water from the rake edges towards the gutters. The roof is, it's not flat, but it's not all draining directly to the gutters. So when it goes over to the side, some of it's getting under the rake boards and some of it is staining the side of the building. So this will eliminate that. They're also going to extend the rake boards down, so they'll put a piece of metal flashing under it to make sure that no water gets up and under in the future. The downspouts, we have some decorative downspouts here in this building that don't fit into the receiving downspout that goes into the ground. So they're going to put, I think, traditional downspouts with a cover plate on top of it that'll fit into that. So that'll eliminate a lot of the, it's not a lot, but there's enough of the water that is not going into the ground right now. It's overflowing onto the grass. The other thing they're looking at, and this is something we'll have to decide how much we want to do, but under a lot of the windows, on the blocks, not in the front on the bricks, but on the blocks. There's
the mortar.
The mortar, there's like a 3 or 4 inch block that's under the bottom of the window and the, not the expansion joint, but the flashing. And the water's getting trapped in there and it's loosening up the grout. So they are looking at 2 options. One, to either just take those out and put a piece of flashing, decorative flashing that would match the windows, or to take the blocks out, reflash it, and put the blocks back. It's quite a few windows. They're not all bad, so we're trying to determine how many windows we should be doing and what that fix will be. They're pricing it both ways right now, one with the metal flashing and one with the blocks. So we should have.
With design, though, wasn't it?
It's probably both.
Because we brought that up early on, and they said that's designed that way so it wouldn't get caught.
Yep. So the water is supposed to get behind the blocks and run out.
Yep.
It doesn't take much. If the flashing is just off a little bit, the water gets trapped in there, and that's a problem. So.
So as you know, Tony, they did enlarge the openings from the gutter into the downspouts. They were like 2 by 2. They were very small.
Yeah, I was just talking about the window part, though.
But so, I mean, all that was causing a lot of that water not making it into the gutters. And so, I mean, that helped I don't know where we were exactly at our last meeting, but we were thinking of basically rebuilding the whole gutter system.
Yep.
We've toned it down from that, and, we think we've come up with a good, much cheaper solution to fix the problem.
Yeah, with that increase in that downspout opening, the water's not overflowing the gutters anymore, so
I
that's
appreciate
good,
what you
yeah.
folks have done on that, but I think both of those were design issues that we pointed out very early on.
No
The
doubt,
building
yeah, no
committee.
doubt, yeah,
You know?
no doubt. No doubt.
So that's it. The other projects that we approved at the last meeting, Kim's not here, right? I don't have an update.
Well, we
Oh,
have an
Paul's
update.
here. Oh, you
yeah,
have, oh, great.
We do. So Tony, you want to start with, we talked about it today, but if you want to start with the updates for A, B, and C on the auditorium.
Yeah. So for auditorium sound panels, we had them come out multiple times. The rigger came out to look at the locations to install them. We're doing a pattern of, we'll call it soldier course, one on top of the other for the side walls and side by side on the back walls. And the purpose there is that really we're just trying to find the proper spacing. And part of the issue was also just aesthetics. We wanted to make them look at least somewhat pleasing. The rigger came out last week and looked at all of this. He's now scheduling time for his guys to come in. He's purchasing all of the hangers. So he didn't want to drill into parts. It's a very specific type of block with different joints. So he's trying to find the right hardware for it. I expect a call any day this week to find out when they're coming in. They're going to try to do it during the day. When students are in their classes, it's free from 8:30 to about 1:45, and then they'll vacate from that point on. I can stay here late as well if needed to get it done after hours. Problem was we had rehearsals through October, so it created a scheduling point.
They're using our lift, Tony, or they?
They're using our lifts, yep. So we have two different ones, single man and a double man. And the double man is what they'll use to hang, because the panels are large. They're 4x8 pieces. And you'd want two people on there to stabilize. And then while one's holding the panel, the other one will be doing the drilling and fastening.
That was Okas, right?
That was
And we talked
Okas,
about- right?
correct.
And then we talked about the PAs, well, let's go to the, and the audio upgrades, the
Yep.
additional speakers.
Yep, so audio upgrades as well. We know that we have some concerns about the quality of the sound within the system based on both microphone and acoustical environments. By adding this, it's called a speaker array, you have a multiple set of subwoofer, mid-range, and tweeter. And that will amplify the sound even more. You may have gone to a show where the lead person is using their dialogue and they're being drowned out by all the other music, and this is supposed to counteract that.
So Tony, do you have an anticipated date that we think these two projects by Okas would be completed?
So unfortunately, the audio came a little later. The purchase order was sitting in limbo and was sent, was it late July, if I'm not mistaken. This one is a little harder to acquire in terms of getting an array. That being said, I put out my email to these guys about when they're coming in with all of this equipment. They did respond to the sound panels. They haven't yet responded for the audio, the speaker hanging. And I will just, during this meeting, I'll also send out another email to let them know. And I know the owner, so maybe I'll just make a call to him and get a validation verbally.
But once they're here on site, that's not that.
Very quick.
Quick.
So the company is Okers. They're local. They're in Middleborough. They're on the state contract. This is kind of their bread and butter. So my expectation is they should be pretty darn quick. They're the ones who did all these televisions and whatnot and did the hanging.
Okay, and then the PA, the speakers? Yep.
So the PA speakers are these types of speakers hanging here when you're hearing a public address of announcements during the day. We know that we had a deficit. There were speakers that were removed for cost savings, and now we're finding that a lot of those places are not just being populated, but have important announcements during the day, including, and I understand this may be not the only method, but if there is an intruder alert, you don't want to wait around to say that's the speaker system I should use versus this one. You go to the nearest one and you just make an announcement. So we want to make sure that whatever system that we have in place is going to cover every room, no matter where we are. That is the hardest one because we're also going through a network audit, And that audit is pointing out deficits that we have within the building for connectivity. And that network audit also identified weaknesses in our IP scheme, so how the building was set up for you to use your computer within the building. And we want to make sure that that's fixed before they install these speakers, and then we have to redo that again. So it's a matter of, this is being sort of delayed for that audit to be then conveyed to us about that weakness, which we know, but it's just not formally done, but they need to provide us a solution, how we should do it, and fix it. Once that is done, then this system will then go into play. About 2 weeks ago, we were talking about a 5-week delay. So these guys are ready to go. All the equipment is in place, and they're just waiting for the IP addresses.
Is that something that Jacob?
Jacob would be able to do. Yep.
our
Yep, and he's
internal
working
network?
with them for that.
Yeah, okay.
Tony, this audit, this is an outside company that comes in and? what-
Johnson Controls, who is the actual original installer of this system. And I wanted to, it was a hard way because they are expensive, but at the same time, to find someone else to come in and add to another system by another vendor tends to be problematic sometimes.
Is this something you do periodically, or just something you thought we needed to do?
For the audit?
Yeah, the audit.
So the audit is a long time coming. As we started to expand everything within the district, even prior to this building, adding more Wi-Fi, adding more computers, the system wasn't originally designed for it. We replaced as many pieces of equipment to allow, better quality speed. But over time, it's kind of like building an addition on an addition on an addition. You should really just start from scratch if your future is to add 4 more rooms. We don't have that luxury to just build down and start from scratch. So this is identifying where we're building up on weak points and showing us where we need to fix those weak points and maybe do some expansion. We have had times where we've run out of IP addresses for you to walk into a basketball game and you can't connect to the Wi-Fi.
Thanks.
Great. And I see that Paul is on here, but as far as I know, for the filtration room ladder, that it has been ordered from CityWorks. I believe Ms. Roulette sent you the
Yep.
quote for that. And I think she's waiting for it to come in, unless Paul has another update, but I don't know if you can hear me.
Paul, can you hear us?
Yeah, well,
He's on mute.
Paul, you're on mute? There you go.
hi, Paul, are you there? Oh, you might be talking, but we can't hear you. Hold on. Okay, well, either way, Paul, you can certainly send me a text if you need to say something, but
But it's
that's
been
my
ordered.
understanding. It's been ordered.
Okay.
CityWorks is the company that they're using, and we're just waiting for it to come in.
Great.
Keep going.
So I gave a handout to project manager, our OPM. We've had a number of meetings with them, a number of discussions with them on the billing. We're under contract with them, and the way we read the contract is they have certain obligations they're supposed to fulfill as part of the project. And that includes closeout of the project with the MSBA. They have continually said that they will continue the closeout process. The question is what's included in the closeout process. And in my opinion, I think they should be doing more work with the punch list and chasing things around as part of the closeout. They feel differently. We did refer it to town council. They've been billing, or at least putting billable hours in over the last couple of years. It hasn't been approved by the school building committee as a change order. It hasn't been approved as a contract amendment or change. Going through the timesheets that they have, the majority of the time that they have here is when they get a new project manager, and we're bringing them up to speed. So they're requesting, I think, about $113,000 in past billing that we're not under contract for. We're still working with them through town council to see how that goes, but I just wanted to make you aware of it.
I mean, our argument is that, the town, the owners, Jim, has been doing a lot of the work that they should be doing.
Big time.
And,
Yeah, sure.
you know, they're building us, you know, maybe we should build them back. I don't know. It's just, and, you know, Jim's gone through these with a fine tooth comb, and again, you can see it, that, you know, that you could see when the new person came on, it's like the same old thing, then new person comes on, we just keep repeating the same.
Yeah, so we'll work with them. If there's items in here that they can clearly demonstrate that they provided services and, you know, they think we should pay them, then I think that's something we consider, but until we get to that point, we're just gonna wait and see.
So your responsibilities on this project are ending in a couple of weeks, right? And so if we don't have them on board providing project management, who is going to be project managing it? This is my question, not to you, because that's not your responsibility, but Tony. So what's your plan for Jim leaving?
We're gonna have to keep him on for a little while.
So
That's
the
my hope.
town, the
That's my
town,
hope.
the town intends to contract with Jim to have him keep providing services, but it's a very limited time, and I don't know that this is the best use of his time either, doing this. If there is some other way to accomplish this without consuming so much of Jim's time.
I mean, my concern obviously would be to get these big issues out of the way. I mean, I think I could say
we're
that.
Getting closer.
Yeah, I think we were definitely making some headway on some of this stuff. You know, some of these outstanding issues with the project manager. I mean, yeah, I know what's going on. I mean, the town council certainly knows what's going on as far as, you know, moving forward with that. Do we need Jim there? I mean, it would be nice, sure.
Well,
but-
so CHA said that they're, because some of the communications that I've seen is basically, we're not talking to you until we resolve this. So is
Yeah.
that basically their position now, that we're not talking to us until we resolve this?
It is, but we had a meeting with the MSBA earlier, last week, and they showed up to the meeting and kind of indicated that they are still working on the closeout. But we can't get a good description of what that closeout includes, right? So the town council's been pushing for that. Once we find out what that includes, we're either gonna have to contract with CHA, or maybe Gale Associates can pick up some of the slack, but at some point, we probably will need, we will need some assistance to get us through. But when we met with CHA to go over this billing in future, we asked them, we said, you know, going forward, you gotta tell us what services you're gonna provide and how you're gonna get us through this to the end. And they were very, they wouldn't give us a direct answer, right? They
Yeah,
said,
they
well,
don't
this
know,
could go
because
on
their
for
project
years. This could-
manager
yeah, yeah,
hasn't
yeah.
been involved, and their project manager doesn't know how much it's gonna take, so they, otherwise they would turn around an SOW like that, so they don't know, that's why they're not.
I mean, when we, there was one meeting that Jim and I met with them. I don't know, I thought it was going okay for us, but they just kind of dug their heels in. But-
So,
I mean, again, they have to, they have to do that.
I'm hoping within the next week or so, we'll be talking with town council, and their council is supposed to meet and see if they can come up with a plan and present it to the committee and go from there.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no easy solution. We have the punch list, we're probably down to about 14 items. Out of those 14 items, I think we have people that have been assigned those items to come up with solutions or to verify that they've been completed. So we should be able to get that list down, you know, maybe to a half dozen within the next couple of weeks.
I mean, the good thing now is, like Jim said earlier, that Agostini's definitely been more involved with the email, answering the emails. Bob's been down here, and, you know, he's answering the emails. So, I mean, we are talking.
And what was happening in the past, and Kim and Paul have been on this lately too, is that we would identify a problem and then we were hoping or expecting somebody else to correct it. So now as we identify the problems, we're trying to find out who's going to correct it and get it done, which has helped quite a bit. It's normally the project manager that would do that, but since we don't have a project manager, the school's taken on some additional responsibility, and we've taken on a little bit more as well.
Jim, do you have commitments where you wouldn't be able to be active with the school building committee until the closure, or? I don't mean from the town. I don't mean from the town.
The town is negotiating a services contract with Jim,
Yep, yep.
and we haven't finalized the
Yep.
negotiation with Jim. He is being very generous with his
Yes,
time.
yep.
I want to make sure that if it's a school building project, cost that we're incurring, that the school building project is paying for it. And I want to make sure that while the town is contracting for Jim's services, because we're in budget season and everything, I mean, we have more, there's not the only thing he's doing. So I want to make sure that the select board understands how much time commitment that Jim is going to have to make. And it might not be that much, because it might be that we're nearly done, but I don't want to, I don't want people to expect that Jim is on indefinitely, because he's not. He's being very generous, but it's not indefinite.
You know, I respect that, and you know, the priorities here. All I was suggesting from Jim, he's been here since day one, and there's very few of us that have been here since day one. And I think it's difficult if somebody picks up some of the stuff that Jim's going to do at the end. Tony's certainly here, Evan, the superintendent, and so forth, and you know, there's a few others around the table here that we've been involved in, but it would be nice, and that's why I was asking, you do live in town, if there's some way you could help out. I think, I agree with you, you have to take the priority from the perspective of the selectmen and the town, not arguing that at all. Just trying to see, you know, because at some point, you know, it's gonna drop on the school, I guess, you know, and we're just trying to, from their standpoint, Evan's probably been the longest tenured person, and that was even in recent compared to this whole process, so.
But I know Jim's you're doing whatever you can to get it all wrapped up in a bow before you leave, so I appreciate
I
it.
have faith in Jim.
Your point about
We don't have the control, though, that's the.
No,
budget piece.
Well, I mean, it's all
addressing
town money, right? It's the town money, but
But it would be easier
it-
to come out of here. and it
I want to
should.
make sure that, because Jim, like, if we have to do formal things to close out with the MSBA, we need somebody who does that to do that, right? That's not Jim.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I can't do that, right?
Right.
You know,
understand.
It's just, I don't have the expertise to
But
do it.
even if you could, it'd be nice if you were in a room and some of that discussion.
Yeah,
Because you have the better perspective
It's
of
as
it.
far as the committee goes, I'm not gonna commit right now, but I don't anticipate leaving the committee. And
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a long project, and it'd be nice to see it through, you know?
so,
If it ever gets through.
So again, on CHA's side of all this, they have not officially, you know, closed out their contract with the town. I mean, there are things they need to do. And close this project out is one of them. They can't, you know, and the MSBA is well aware of that. I mean, they know what's going on. You know, all these billing hours, you know, I think we'll come to some resolution. It's clear to us that, you know, a lot of that was, you know, on the job and training for the 10 or so different
Yeah.
people that have been trying to
And
catch.
it's work that they were under contract to do for a settled-on price. So they use more hours than they wanted to, but that's not our fault.
The one thing they hang their hat on is there is a clause in their contract that says any litigation would be additional services. But it's been our position that we haven't included them in any litigation.
Yeah,
We've had
yeah.
Gale Associates doing all that work, so,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm hoping that shakes out in the next week or two. At least get a firm position as to where they are and what they're willing to do or not going to do, and then we're gonna have to make some decisions.
Again, I think the good thing is lately, there's definitely been a lot more communication back and forth with the committee, with Jim and the contractors and others, so. And Roy, there's been quite a few people
Yeah, yeah.
here at the building for several different things, right?
Right, I mean, I know a lot more about the roof and water pumps and the whole system now, and I know we had a meeting with Cheryl, is that her
Yeah,
name?
Cheryl.
Right, and trying to finally get some movement on some of the outstanding issues. And so I certainly have been working close with facilities. I think there's a few, I mean, the roof and the gutters, I did go up on the roof. That's the huge one, right? And I think the other projects, if I'm wrong, are
Nope.
a little bit smaller. And so from the school side, we can probably handle that, support that, to get that to the finish line. But the larger roof project is huge. So,
And Dr. Rowe, you're comfortable working with the school building assistant folks from your background too, Department of Ed, right? So
I mean, yeah, I mean, we've used them, I don't know how.
No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, in terms of the level of going in, if we have to go up there and so forth, you work with those folks. You must know some of them, they're in the department, so.
Yeah, I haven't.
We just want to be fair, we're not asking for any favors, but we want to be fair with the process.
Oh, I know, I'm certainly prepared
Yeah,
to
yeah,
advocate for, what we need.
No, I mean, the people in this room, I'm more than confident that whatever we need to do,
Yep.
we'll get it
Yep.
done. We'll get it
Yep.
done.
Yeah.
So that's the project manager. We've been going back, we had a meeting, Fran, Tony, myself, with Agostini about just a month ago. And we went over most of these change orders. Some of these have been sitting around for 2-3 years. Some we've disputed back then, some we agreed to, and they kind of got lost in the shuffle. On the agenda there, you can see what Agostini has been requesting for payment. After talking to them a number of times, there's somewhat an agreement reluctantly to go with what's being recommended, which is about $30,000 less than what they originally asked.
So
I
at
don't
that,
think anybody's happy in the negotiations.
at that meeting, yeah, I mean, at that meeting, we got Steve Agostini to agree to, I mean, we were squeezing him more, I'm sure, as you could imagine. But we basically squeezed out $31,000 off the,
So I move approval of the change orders as recommended, the 70,221.17, and then whatever approval is required for the credits.
Second?
any discussion?
Second. Yes, it's on the agenda, it should be 80,000.
Oh, 80,000.
And the other one's 111. We added that 10,000 at the bottom.
But also the credit in your motion too, right?
Yeah.
So there's a credit below it, right?
You have
Yes,
to
the
accept the
credit.
credits? Yeah.
Any comments, any questions on any of these, anyone?
And what the credits were, just, well, you want to vote on the
No, go ahead, no.
change order? What the credits were is was going through one of the latest pay rec, and I noticed a duplicate on one of the payments. And then as I went through all of them, there were 5 or 6 duplicates, so they've agreed that they're duplicates, and that's the credits. That's not a negotiated thing, that's what we just double billed for, so. And I don't think it was malicious, the way the billing went. One was when it was originally discussed, it came in, and then when the change order was finally approved, it came in, so. It happens, but I think we went through the billing quite a bit. I don't think there's anything else in there, so. $55,000 credit is good at this point.
All right, any other comments?
Well done. I think
All of-
this looks good. I mean, I think a lot of work in here.
Did somebody second that motion?
I did.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so let's move on to the minutes from Tuesday, June 24th, and November 21st, 2024. Is there a motion?
Approval of the minutes as presented.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve invoices, Agostini Construction Company Pay Rec 45.
So the only disputed portion is the actual retainage. Right now, we're holding a retainage of about $72,000. They have done some improvements. We had the vapor barrier that went behind the back of the gym from the roof down. They removed some of the blocking and tied that in. They've asked to reduce that retainage down to 20. I'd suggest maybe reduce it down to 40. I think we need to show them that we're working with them a bit. I don't know if we have to go all the way down to 20, but I would recommend going down to 40. The actual total amount on that pay rec is on the slide. I don't have it here, but,
And Tony, and Jim was having some conversations with Agostini about that.
I have the total amount. Oh, I have it here. Total amount would be $116,000. $116,995.68. That would leave a retainage of $40,000, and we still have a contingency of almost $800,000. I think it's 790. I'm sorry, 690.
I move approval of the increase as recommended.
Second?
And Jim feels comfortable with that number.
Yeah, I think it's, they've shown some willingness to work with us. And, They have done some of the work.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's approved. And then we have another invoice from Air Masters for $908.
My understanding is this was related to one of the punch list items that was reading wrong on the computer. Air Masters went out and took a look at it, and this was the bill from that. I'd recommend approval.
I move approval of the Airmaster invoice.
Second?
Second?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, folks, anyone have anything else?
Yes, I do. I
ahead,
didn't
Tony.
want to correct the minutes, but I thought we were a little bit more definite in terms of trying to get some quotes for the lighting. Is that not a request of the schools for outside lighting for the fields? I thought Kim was going to get 3 quotes and bring them to the next meeting. And again,
Did we ask her to
that's what the school wants.
Did
to
we
do,
ask
but-
her as a committee, Tony?
Yeah, she
We
was
did?
going to do that. I thought, well, it's not in the minutes, so, you're getting old sometimes, maybe my memory's not as good, but I thought that's what, I left the meeting assuming we were getting 3 quotes, and Jim was cautious about it because he wasn't sure, where the money was gonna come from. But I thought we were gonna get the quotes and
I
then
don't remember
see if it
whether
was
we were
something
getting quotes or not.
worthwhile.
Yeah, I know.
And that's up to the schools. I know there's some folks out there that
For the
feel it
field.
was pretty
For the
important too.
fields. Okay, yes.
So, all right, we can do that.
Yeah,
Get a quote.
right. I think Ms. Reposa is also collecting CIPC requests.
Yep.
And I think it might be on there.
It is.
As well.
Yep,
It's
it is.
your
Is that where
call,
it is?
Dr.
Okay.
Roy. I'm not,
Okay.
I'm
it's okay.
assuming
It's
that's
okay.
something that the schools would like to do.
It is a
Certainly
request.
the
I can
community
tell
would like to do
you,
it.
I can tell you from the school department, it is, yeah, it's definitely a request that we're compiling right now. Whether it's on CIPC or are you saying that those lights would be paid for through school building committee
Yes,
funds?
for this building. There's something in the minutes that talk about the old high school. I don't think we ever talked about that for lighting, but we were talking about this building for lighting. Because assuming they're gonna use the fields out there, it's kind
Okay.
of just community spirit type deal.
I mean, the idea was if there was some extra funds, that unspent funds.
Then that's what we could use it for, yeah. Okay, I'll definitely look into it and get back to you to see where Kim is on that. My only recollection is that is on CIPC request, but if we can,
So obviously you must have a number there, right? So she did probably get something. Yeah, no, it's,
Tony, you have that?
Yeah,
open?
let me see if I can find it.
I think it was rough, but I don't think it was in it.
Yeah.
It was hundreds of thousands.
It wasn't a formal estimate.
Correct.
No, I don't know, she's got her 3, her
Yeah.
formally, her
Okay.
3
I looked
quotes,
for
yeah.
guidance for you and the school committee on that, but I know that the community was kind of looking forward to that. When we had the tournament games for soccer, for example,
Yep.
we had to bring in portable lighting and so forth, and it's just a good community piece for all activities, not just that one sport, but all sports,
In the fall, when they go far, deep in the playoffs, after daylight savings starts,
Yeah, wow.
they can't really use our fields without bringing in lighting.
Right, that's a good point, right.
Yep.
And did we talk a little bit about this yesterday, Evan, just the electricity to the fields?
Yeah. Yes, I think one of the games our athletic director last year had to bring out a portable speaker for one of the
Yeah.
games. So that was, I mean, that could be part of the.
That could be part of it, right, just the
we
access.
do have a PA system out there, right?
Well, it wasn't very
No.
good, that's what you're saying, we had to use
Yeah.
portable stuff, and
There's
it's.
no PA system behind the,
There's no spot to add anything out there. There's power, one port, and that's it. I don't even think the fiber is terminated, because the only fiber that we have that's terminated is going to John's office. So there are multiple things that are sort of a deficit out there, including
speakers
power.
behind the,
It was supposed to be at least the conduits run under the roadway, is my recollection.
Yep.
So that.
I'll look that up in the plan, but that would be great to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know.
why do we have that big thing?
It looks
Goes
like
off the side and
an arbitrary number of $800,000 was set aside for lighting for all fields in this area.
I'm not suggesting we spend that necessarily, because I think we could go to folks that are in that business and maybe get some contributions as well through the community, but it might be something that remainder could come out of the school building contract. That's up to you folks.
Yeah, no,
No,
good.
no, thank you for
Good
raising
point.
it, thank you.
Anything else, anyone? So again, I'd just like to say to anyone maybe watching us at home, we are working hard to close this project out, and it isn't that uncommon for these things to go on for a few years. And, you know, we'll deal with that, but I just want to say that, from what I hear, Dr. Roy, that there are good things going on here
Absolutely.
all the time, every day. And our enrollment is that, do you have that?
Over 50, I think we were up a little bit. I'd have to double check. I gave you those numbers in September. It's what?
It was over 1,500.
Oh, it's definitely over
So
1,500.
we're up to
I think
1,500.
Compared to last year at this time, we are higher, maybe by about 10 or 20 students.
So, I mean, we're almost at the numbers back in 2011. I think we were like at 16 when I first got on, and then dropped all the way down to
Yeah.
12.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably just 2 or 3 communities in Massachusetts that have higher enrollments this year than last.
But so,
The
and,
trend has been
and
the
one of
other
the
way.
reasons is, you know, it's a great district, and there's a lot of good things going on, and
Yeah,
that's what parents
absolutely.
want to hear, and that's where parents want to send their kids, and that's what we want.
And honestly, in all honesty, despite the issues we've had with the school building, it is a beautiful facility. I mean, it's very conducive to learning. When I tour the building, and you know, I look at the art rooms and the skylights, and we've got this STEM space, and you sense it when you walk in this building. It's a beautiful place for kids to live and to learn and to grow, right? Despite all those issues, I compare the feel of it to any other high school that I've seen, and I've seen a lot of high schools. So I'm very pleased that you all did the hard work the past few years, and that the community supported such a great learning space for our kids.
Good, thank you, good to hear. All right, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, David.